Okay, I gotta explain something to you about these head bolts. Okay, right there. Alright, you can get a wrench on that one, and you can get a wrench on that one there. Okay, you can't get a socket on there. Therefore, you can't use a torque wrench on these two. But that's okay. But you'll go from this one to that one, from this one to that one, or whichever one you want to start with. It makes no difference. But whichever one you start with, you go diagonally. Okay? And if you ever have to take his head off, alright, you have to leave the rocker box on there, but you got to take all the bolts out except for that one and that one. Leave them in there, but loosen them up real loose to where you can shake that rocker box. Okay? Loosen that rocker box up. The reason why you have to do that is because that head bolt won't come out until you get the head, until you loosen up the rocker box to move the rocker box back, because it will not clear. Try to get it where you can see it. It will not clear the rocker box in here. Right there's the head bolt. It will not clear. So so you have to use a wrench on that two outside bolts. Okay, and the best way that I do it is I go from caddy corner to caddy corner, one corner to the back corner, front corner to the back corner, and when they start getting tight, okay, I'll do that and go from one to another. Alright, and just keep tightening them down. When it gets to where I can't tighten it by hand anymore, you might think this is odd, but this works. There it is. I will put the wrench on there. I will hold the wrench with one hand and take that hammer and just barely tap. Okay? The only two I do that with are these two. The two back here that I can get to, I use a torque wrench. Okay? And I will just take my time, feel around to it, you know, you know, make sure it feels like I got all of them the same tightness. You can, you know, you can do that if you just take your time, pay attention on what you're doing, and pay attention to nothing but what you're doing. Okay? Now, if you have to take heads off, when you go put them back on, okay, when you go put the head backs on, before you tighten either one of them down, okay, put the intake on. And the reason why is because in here, I don't know if let's see. In there where the intake meets the head, you want to get that as close as you can together and as flush as you can. So with the head bolts loose, you're moving the head, twisting it just a little bit. You don't get very much, okay? I mean very, 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 very little, you know. But that matters over here on that intake, because you don't want the intake sucking air. If the intake's sucking air, it'll spit, backfire, do all kinds of crazy shit, sound like it's out of time, and just awful. Won't run. When it does run, it runs like shit. So, you know, you want to get this on, get it straight, get it close as you can on the inside. You know, feel of it with your finger. Yeah, it feels pretty good. You know, because you want that gas to flow. You know, you don't want nothing stopping it. You want it to flow. All right, man. I love you.